What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Elden Ring walkthrough. Hope everyone is doing well today. So we just finished up the Shaded Castle, and what we're going to do in this episode is we are basically going to be wrapping up the rest of this eastern section of the Altus Plateau, and then in the next episode we're going to start here in the capital. We're going to start making our way through this massive area, but first we just got some mop-up duty. Where we're going to start is this rampart side path. If you remember in the Shaded Castle, we picked up a painting. So this painting that we picked up is the champion song painting. So the solution to it is over here on this hill where we fought the lightning dragon. I forget his name, but it was the lightning based dragon that we fought up here. And for those of you who don't have the painting, we got it in the last episode in the Shaded Castle. And the ghost that gives you the special item does not show up unless you have the painting in your inventory. So you have to have this, otherwise, what's going to happen to us here is not going to occur for you unless you have this painting. So head up over here. There's our ghost, our artist, if you will, and he painted this landscape and drops for us the harp bow. So the harp bow, take a look at it real quick. You notice it has a skill barrage. This skill allows you to fire off a volley of arrows in very quick succession. It's actually quite a good skill. Now, the downside to this bow is that you look at the range is 29 versus what our longbow is at 50. So that's almost half of the range. I prefer to keep the range of the longbow for now. We are going to get a bow relatively soon, though, that has good range, but also has that barrage skill. So I'm going to be switching to that once we get it, but we're not there yet. And I think the bow that we're going to be switching to is actually a little bit heavier too, so we're probably going to have to put some points into endurance to get our equipment load up. So where we're headed next is there's a mini boss here in this crater. It's a new type of mini boss, well, at least new to us. We have not fought one yet in this playthrough. It's called a falling star beast. These things are really tough, so there's a reason why I've kind of put it off until now. I just wanted to be as strong as possible because these things are a bit tricky. If it takes you several tries, don't feel bad. These things are really tough. I remember the first time I encountered one, I couldn't get anywhere close to killing it in my first playthrough, so I just marked it off and came back later. Let's see, there's a corpse in there, and I think one of these craters has a corpse in it too. One of these. Here it is. All right, so up here where that guy, you see off in the distance where our beacon is, there's that guy standing. That's where our falling star beast is going to be. I'm definitely going to be summoning here just to help. So I'm going to go ahead and pop my flask and get my summon off. So the thing is this guy, this falling star beast, has a lot of gravity-based attacks, and he has insane speed and maneuverability, which is what makes him so difficult. I'm gonna start on horseback. Eventually, he's probably going to knock me off on my horse, and then I'll finish him off on foot. But he is so fast, and he's got some pretty insane gravity-based AoE attacks. Right now he's focused on my summon, though, which I like. So I'm just going to walk up and get some hits. And you would not be able to get hits on him like that if you were fighting him solo. The summon really, really helps. Hitting him in his face is his weak point, because you see the rest of his body is armored. But it is hard to get shots on his face, kind of where those pincers are. But you will do more damage if you manage to hit him up front. On the horse, I prefer not to be right in front of his face because he can do pretty insane damage from up front, as you just saw, and he knocks you off your horse, and then, yeah. So we're going to give him another try. Unfortunately, there's a stake of Marika right next to us. So we're going to respawn kind of like right here. As I said, these guys are really tricky. This time I think I might try to just fight him completely on foot. All right, he's going to charge at me right away. He's going to knock me right off, yep. But I got my summon off in time, so at least there's that. Man, he is going after me, dude. No mercy. Almost killed me there. This guy needs to go. All right, I'm gonna try him on foot this time, especially since I got my summon with me. He's still focused on me entirely, though. Come on, Lutel. I need you to do some work for me here. There we go. Taking a lot of that damage for me. Yeah, man, that rock sling attack that he does, oh, ridiculous. And yeah, he's got some pretty nasty gravity-based AoEs. He's got a tail whip that's pretty devastating. He just has a lot of really heavy attacks and that grab attack. Mashing all the buttons to kind of reduce the damage as much as possible. Need to heal up. But yeah, if I want him going after Lutel. There we go, got a stun. And get the critical. Get a little bit of my health back. There's the tail whip. I'm gonna top up my health here. AoE. Thanks, Lutel, for helping me out. Almost got him. Which is not something I should announce. Alright. Got the aggro on Lutel. And dead. So definitely a tough enemy. Definitely helpful to have the summon with you. Thank you very, very much. And look at the loot. We get a Somber Stone 5, Smithing Stone 6, and then a bunch of gravity type items. I know you've already left, but I owe you a bow at the very least. All right. So I got that taken care of. Need to get my runes. I need to be better about getting my runes. I leave them behind too often. So let's see. I've got an enemy on here, so I got to take care of this enemy so I can warp. There we go. So we're going to warp right here. Our next point of interest is going to be right here. And then there's a site of grace around here. And then we're going to hit up some items and whatnot, kind of on this area around here. So that's going to be our general trajectory as soon as we warp. We're going to run into a familiar foe and have ourselves some fun. Let's see, time of day, it's morning, so we're good. Beautiful morning here on the plateau. Nice golden sky. Can't beat that. So this is where we fought a giant gargoyle. We fought him in a previous episode right after taking on the Dultree Sentinels. And we got some golden seeds here. We already picked these up. So where we're headed now, for us, we haven't been here yet. But this is a old battleground here. Something crazy went down here. And look at this guy. It's our friend Margit. So pretty much the same as the first boss encounter. Same moveset and everything. Only he's got a bit more HP this go around. But you should be, you know, you killed him once, you can kill him again. And this is totally not a required encounter. It's hammer time for him. Do your big slam, easy to dodge and punish. Same as the boss fight. Hoping to get my stun on him. And just like the boss fight, he's got ridiculous combos. Yeah, do your hammer slam. That's my favorite attack of yours. That super delayed slam that he's got. All right, he's dead. For our trouble, we get the Viridian Amber Medallion +1, so for extra stamina. We got 54,000 runes. That should be More than enough for a level. But up here we've got a Site of Grace. So we will obtain our level. Let's see. What will we do here? I'll start pumping endurance up a bit. Because I do want some extra equipment load. I might take my endurance up to 30. Let's see. There's a corpse here that has a rune, I believe. Over here we got some loose loot as well. Got a giant just chilling on the broken trebuchet. Here we got an item, some arteria leaves, 3 of them. Wakey, wakey. Ah, no, I want the critical. Give me the critical. Oh, it didn't get the critical. Oh, well. I got the bleed, though. Okay. Enough of him. Over here we got some bats. And there's also some decent loot this direction. Ah, I missed. So I'm gonna run over here to the big bat. And here, remember in Liurnia, they dropped gold rune 6s, the big bats. These ones drop 9s, so not bad at all. And not only do we get the 9 for killing that bat, she's guarding a 10, so pretty solid. Pretty solid haul, if I do say so myself. So there's some loot over here. You see that one by the tombstone. There's one on top of this tombstone. It's a little bit of a tricky jump to make. I kind of like to run parallel to it and then jump over. Not too bad to land on top. Over here we got a couple more. Got some rainbow stones. And golden rune 4. So here we got some dragonflies. These are good for getting the dragonfly heads that are used for crafting like the poison boluses. Did they drop? Yeah, that one dropped one. Yeah, the great dragonfly heads are good for crafting like the poison resistance type materials. You need dragonfly heads to do that. So I might as well take some of those out, make hay while the sun is shining type of thing. Let's see. That's it for this area. Can take this away. There's going to be some stuff over here and then some stuff over here as well. So that'll be our next spot to hit up. Up there on that little hill. Actually, I marked 1 and 2. I'm going to do 2 first and then 1. I'll go up this path on the side here first. So it's kind of hard to find him, but there's a guy walking around with a treasure chest. And that treasure chest carries like a Great Rune 10 or Rune 12 or something like that. It's pretty solid, but you got to find this guy. He's like walking around with a treasure chest. There is a... Is he with him, with this group? There he is. There's my guy. See, you guys got the little treasure chest. Whack him. It's a gold rune 12. Take care of this guy while we're at it. Because why not? that away. Over here, another item. Got a bunch more bats around here too. Okay, got a golden 5. So where we're headed next is kind of up this pathway. There's going to be some items like here-ish. There's going to be another item like around here. Another one. We're going to go up, kind of up this hill. There's going to be another one here. And then we're going to go up along the wall. This path upwards is a little bit difficult to find us. It's a somewhat narrow staircase. That's going to take us up to that cliff. There are a bunch of skeleton enemies around here. Got a Grace Mimic. Some of these tombstones, some of these giant tombstones have like stuff hidden behind them, yeah. Drawstring Holy Grease. Smithing Stone 5. Let's see. I think there's a couple runes. Again, most of them are behind these giant tombstone looking things. I think there's another one up here, around here somewhere. There it is. Got a rune 4. And these are the skeleton type enemies that regenerate after you kill them. I'm not worth fighting them in my opinion. It's just gonna take time. Let's see. So over here we're getting another cracked tier that you can use for your physic flask. This is the winged crystal tier. I believe that allows you it. While it's active, it's a temporary boost, but I think that one boosts your carry capacity. So there's another item down here, kind of like at the point of this cliff, behind another tombstone. This one. One of these. There it is. Golden Rune 10. And there's another one up here by the wall. We passed it already. I think there's another one up here. We may have passed it already. Here it is. Okay, so I'm going to double check that crystal tier that we just picked up. Yeah, temporarily reduces equipment load. So not something I would necessarily rely on, because if you're heavy rolling and that makes you medium roll, I mean, when that wears off, it's going to have a drastic effect on how your fight goes. So over here we have the isolated merchant shack, I think it is. Hermit merchant shack.
Is some custom well?
I'm going to go ahead and pick up the rune arcs. Perfume bottle. Go ahead and get some extra arrows while I'm at it. I'm running low. Let's see. What else do we have here? We got the Sentry's Torch. So I mentioned before, this is the area where you can pick up the Sentry's Torch. Torch given to protectors of the Erd Tree. Its flames are bestowed with a special incantation which allows the bearer to see assassins cloaked in veils. So if you remember that there was that invisible black knight or black assassin, black whatever they're called. If you have this torch equipped, that allows you to see them. There's actually going to be some ones that we encounter later on in the game, so it's still worth it to pick this up. Just take note that this requires 15 faith. On this build, we only have 10, but what we could do is when we need to use this, we could just pop a rune arc on Godric's Great Rune, and then we'll get that extra 5 faith and we'll be able to use this. So still worth picking up, even though in this build we don't have the points into faith. There are other ways we can get the faith when we need to use this particular torch. So we just picked up the below the capital note. I'm going to read it to you and show it to you so you don't have to pick it up yourself if you don't want it. So I need 7,000 to pick up the Sentry's torch. I'm definitely going to pick it up. So 7,000. That means I need an extra 4,000 basically. There we go. Pick up the Sentry's torch. And I'll read that note to you. Below the capital, below the royal capital of Landell is a vast network of sewers. The well in the city below reaches deep into its tunnels. So that is something that we're going to be doing. When we get into the capital, there's actually, it's kind of a 2-for-1 special. There's kind of 2 dungeons in one when you get there. There's the main, like, capital level, and then there's, as that note just said, there's kind of the sewers beneath the capital. And it is a massive area. So there's a minor Erd tree here. There's an item here that we want to pick up, and then an item kind of around here that we want to pick up, which there's a bunch of like giant golem archers that might be too difficult to get. We'll see. And then after that, we're going to want to head down this path kind of to like, well, we'll go right here for starters. So that's going to be kind of our route. First stop is the minor Erd tree. Okay, yeah, that's too far to drop, so I'm gonna have to find some middle ground here. There we go. And this Erd tree does not have a mini boss in front of it, unlike most of the other ones. I don't know why, but there is an enemy in front of it, but it's not a boss or by any stretch. So I don't know why they're giving us this one for free. I'm gonna go on and kill this guy though, just cause. Just because he's ugly. And so these enemies here, I mean, they look unassuming, but they do cast the Death Blight smoke. But don't let yourself get Death Blighted. Ooh, he dropped the Omen Cleaver. Bunch of sunflowers around here. And there should be a crystal tier basin. Here it is. So get the Twiggly Crack tier and the Crimson Crystal tier. So check these out. This is our second Crystal Crimson tier. So if you happen to put both of these in your flask at the same time, that's going to give you a extra full health restore if you put both of these in here. Now the Twiggly Crack tier, where is that one? Here we go. So this one, briefly stop rune loss on death. So if you have this in your physic flask and you pop it, I'm not sure how long the effect lasts. I think it's a minute or maybe even a couple minutes, the effect duration. But if you're fighting a boss and you're like, okay, this is not going well, I'm about to die, or you walk into a boss room and you're like, okay, there's no chance, I have no chance to get to this boss. Just pop that in your physic flask, and if you die, you're not going to lose your runes. So it can be very useful situationally. The only thing is that that'll be occupying one of your slots in your physic flask. You're gonna be dedicating a slot, something that maybe could be used to boost your attack or defense or something like that. You're using that to prevent your rune loss. So, it's a give and a take. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. Smithing Stone 5. All right, let's get out of here. Ooh, that just missed us. Got some great arrows. So we're headed down this hill. And in this kind of swampy area, there are some dragonflies. I might try to pick up a couple extra crafting items if they sit still for long enough. Come on. Are you going to sit still for me? That one is. There we go. That one dropped a dragonfly head, and I don't think any of the others did, but oh well. All right, gold rune 6. We can take this off. So where we're headed next is through under this bridge, I guess you could say. And then there's a catacombs over here. And that's going to be the last thing that we do before... It's going to be the last thing we do in this episode, and it's going to be the last thing that we do before we head into the capital. Which, like Stormvale Castle and like Rhea Lucaria Academy, is a very large area. In fact, I'd argue that the capital is probably the largest single area in this game. So we're going to spend at least 3 episodes in the capital, I can imagine, including the sewer area. It could be up to 5. We'll see. So this is a grave area. We're actually going to take this on after we do the capital. Reason being is because we're going to get some smithing stones that are going to upgrade our weapon. And believe me, you want to be a little bit stronger for doing that one. So we're going to save that one for a little bit later when we are stronger. The boss in particular is very difficult. So we're going to lure this room bear over. I have no intention of actually killing it, but I just want to lure it over to the statue so it'll break it open so we can get our smithing stones out of it. Come on. Not that way. This way. What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay. No. Not that close. Not that close. Over here. There we go. All right, get my smithing stones, and we're going to bail. Or try to bail. I've fought some of y'all before. I don't need to fight another one. Not worth the trouble right now. Fortunately, I have iframes while I'm opening this door, so... Praise the iframes. And he can't fit in here, or she can't fit in here, so... Haha. Alright. So this catacombs is very, very tricky. So pay close attention is all I'm going to say. Pay very close attention. In fact, this area is so tricky, I'm going to equip rainbow stones, and we're going to use these to mark our path, and this is actually going to help us enormously. So here we are. This is the Azuria side tomb. Very tricky area. It is basically a maze, and as I said, I'm equipping my rainbow stones here because it's going to help us with navigation. So here's our boss door right at the very beginning, and we turn... Down these stairs, we're going to have a bunch of jars. Smaller jars. This one, the one with the yellow top, when you hit it and take all of its life away, it's going to blow up. So watch out. The explosion will hurt you. And this is another one that'll explode. All right. So over here, we got some grave glovewort and another jar. Okay, so we're going to drop a rainbow stone in here. This is just going to kind of mark, hey, we've been here. I'm going to put one on the other side too, just so we can see from both sides. And so if you look, there's a drop down here. You could drop down, and you see there's the lever to pull the switch, but what I'm going to show you is this way. We have a treasure chest. And this treasure chest happens to be a trap chest that warps you. But it doesn't warp you far away. It warps you within this dungeon. So the way that you make your way through this dungeon is by navigating through these trap chests. And they're all linked to one another. So if we were to go back, this is going to take us back to the one that warped us here. So these are all kind of linked to one another. So it's not like a random warp where you have to figure out where you're at next. It is once you kind of get a feel for where these chests are taking you, you can know that it's a guaranteed warp to this spot. So if we had dropped down, you saw that window up there. If we had dropped down, this is where we would have landed. We could have done that, but I just wanted to show you how these trap chests work because it is a theme in this dungeon. It is quite crucial to navigation. So back here we got another gravewort or glovewort. And there's going to be an imp from above sniping us with magic. I'm going to heal up real quick. Oh, I've got my rainbow stones equipped. That was almost bad. Which works because I needed to put a rainbow stone here anyway, so. All right, so we put our rainbow stone down here. We got another grave glovewort. And in here, there is going to be a guy sniping us. It's another imp. So I'm going to throw a rainbow stone down here. Then be careful, there's an ambush. And a guy trying to hit us from above, too. Okay, so we got this here treasure chest right in front of us. And like the others, this is going to warp us. All of the treasure chests in this dungeon warp you. Just FYI. Okay, let's open this up. And we're here with a couple giant jars. Just be careful because these things do hurt. I'm gonna top off health real quick. I bust these things open. We'll grab the loot. Crackpot. Perfumer's Cookbook 3. And another crackpot. So you see directly across, we have a stone that's in here. So in this room. So you know that we've been to the other side of this gate already. This gate, however, does not open. This is a dead end. So we're going to have to go back through this chest to go back to where we just were. And so this is where this dungeon gets a little bit tricky. So how we progress is this is a fake wall. So we need to roll through here and it'll disappear. And then there's another chest down here that's going to transport us elsewhere. Double exploding cracked pot. So just step foot in the room, run away, let them jump at you, and they'll blow up. So this is where we want to go. This is our progression route. And so remember, you know, in some of these rooms we had imps from above that were sniping us. So now we're up high, right? Got a golden rune 7. Remember the one that was shooting lightning at us from above? Well, if you look, there is no rainbow stone. So this dungeon is actually duplicated. There's two sides of this dungeon that are identical, and we just warped to the other side that looks identical, but it's a different section of the dungeon. So that's why we've been laying down rainbow stones, so that way we can tell, hey, which side of the dungeon are we in? Because if you remember from the main side of the dungeon that we walked in on, this is where the switch was to unlock the boss door. So here, there's no switch. We are on the opposite side of the dungeon. That it's not even a mirror image. I mean, it's laid out exactly in the same orientation. But yes, it is confusing. So that's why we've been laying down the stones. And see here, we already picked up this flower on the other side of the dungeon, and this area that looks exactly like this. But you know, it is quite confusing, which is why we've been laying down those stones to avoid wondering where we're at. So here, there's a giant pot. We go on and take him out. And this is back where... Oh, an exploding pot, too. I forgot about him. Fortunately, he did damage to us, but he also took out the big jar. We got a ritual pot. So if you remember in the original layout, when we walked in, this is where the chest was that... This is where the first chest was that we warped out through. Much like the other side, we can walk through here. And as you notice, no rainbow stone, which means there's more stuff on the other side of this gate, on the opposite side of the dungeon. And so what we're going to do is we're actually going to go this way first. So again, this is the opposite side of the dungeon. We're still on the opposite side of the dungeon. And this warps us up top. Whoops. You see, there's our rainbow stone. So we're back on the main side of the dungeon now. So we can climb up this ladder. And this takes us to another warp. And so this looks like the first room we were kind of in with the jars, but you see we have no shining stones in here, so this is not. This is we're back on the other side of the dungeon, the second side of the dungeon. So in here, watch out for the enemies. Smithing 5 and a ritual pot. Now we got to backtrack to our trap chest to get back to where we were. That is a dead end, but again, just guiding y'all to all the loot as well as getting through the dungeon itself. So do not drop down here. Make sure you climb down this ladder, because if you drop down, you're going to take damage. It is too far of a fall. You won't die, but you will take damage if you drop instead of taking the ladder. Okay, so we're going to stay up top. And again, as I mentioned, these chests are all linked to one another, so this one is going to take us back to the chest that warped us to here. And then we're going to be able to go back up these stairs. So on the original side of the dungeon, this is where that illusory wall was. On the, I guess, mimic side of the dungeon, which is where we're at now, there's no illusory wall. You can just go straight down there to the treasure chest. But the progression route is actually through here, because again, we're on the second side of the dungeon, and this is going to warp us back to the first side of the dungeon, where we can unlock the boss door. Actually, I take that back. We're still on the second side of the dungeon, but once we go up this ladder, we're going to get to a treasure chest that warps us to the main side of the dungeon, where we can unlock the boss door. And then once we unlock the boss door, we're basically done. So this side of the dungeon has a ladder we can climb up. Remember when we originally went to this kind of equivalent room on the other side of the dungeon, it was a dead end. There was no ladder. But here we can climb up the ladder. And so throwing down those rainbow stones is how I keep track of, like, okay, are we on the main side of the dungeon, or are we on the opposite side of the dungeon? So here we go. You can see there's a rainbow stone down there, so we know we're on the main side. Somewhere a door has opened. And since we're on the main side, we can go up here and warp through this chest, and it's going to take us back to the beginning where we entered. And we can go to the boss door. And the boss isn't too bad, especially if you summon. So here we go. We got a rainbow stone. This is the main side. So if you remember, if you go up these stairs where we entered the dungeon, this is where the boss door is. So let's see. I've got 7 heals. That should be more than enough. Go on and fight the boss. Up there, if you go straight back that way, that's where the site of grace was to mark the entrance to this dungeon. And we're going to fight the boss. So I'm going to go on and pop my flasks so I can summon right when we get inside. There we go. We fought one of these before. The only difference is there's a bunch of pots in here with us. No, he's on me. He's not on my summon. Oh, he's my summon's preoccupied with the pots. That's just wonderful. All right, go after the boss, man. There we go. Gonna try to get the aggro off me. There we go. I love how this summon just like teleports all over the place. All right, there we go. So for trouble, we get the soul jars of fortune ashes, so we can summon jars now. And that is it for this dungeon. So we can we can get this root resin, hop on back to the entrance, and we are done here, folks. So that is the Azuria Side Tomb Catacombs. So that's going to be it for now, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. As I said, this grave site we're going to go to after beating the capital when we're a little bit stronger. So next, we're going to start things right off here at the capital gates, and we're going to go in and we're going to get a sizable chunk of this level taken care of. I really love this place. It's massive, but it's awe-inspiring. So I'm really looking forward to diving into it in detail with you guys. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this episode, and I'll catch you all next time. Take care, everybody.